Hello, this is Sarah Flack, the Education Coordinator at the Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes. Thank you for joining us for this week's webinar. Today, I'll be talking about Amber Alerts. I want to start by just giving a brief background about the Amber Alert system and how it was developed. In 1996, the Amber Alert was first developed. Amber stands for America's Missing Broadcast Response Emergency Response. The acronym was created as a legacy to 9-year-old Amber Hagerman, who was kidnapped while riding her bicycle in Arlington, Texas, and then brutally murdered. The Amber Alert system began in Dallas-Fort Worth when broadcasters teamed with local police to develop an early warning system to help find abducted children. Other states and communities began setting up their own Amber Alert plans as the idea was adopted across the nation. Between 1996 and 2001, the progress on developing and implementing Amber plans throughout the country was not significant during this time. And at the end of 2001, only 4 states had statewide Amber plans. In 2002 and 2003, we saw some important changes. In 2002, the first ever White House conference on missing, exploited, and runaway children was held. At this time, the president requested that the U.S. Attorney General appoint the first National Amber Alert Coordinator. Deborah J. Daniels, Assistant Attorney General for the U.S. Department of Justice, Office of Justice Programs, was appointed the first National Amber Alert Coordinator. In 2003, on April 30th, the president signed into law the PROTECT Act, which comprehensively strengthened law enforcement's ability to prevent, investigate, prosecute, and punish violent crimes committed against children. The PROTECT Act also reinforced previously established National Amber Alert Coordinator role in the Department of Justice. The law tasked the coordinator to facilitate the development of the Amber Network, support development of state Amber plans and efforts, help eliminate geographic gaps in Amber networks, provide regional Amber network coordination, and establish guidance on criteria for issuing an Amber Alert. We continued much progress during 2004. Perhaps one of the most notable things is that the department's recommended criteria for issuing Amber Alerts became as follows. Law enforcement must confirm that the abduction has taken place, the child is at risk of serious injury or death, there is sufficient information on the child must be 17 years old or less, and that the child's name and other criteria have been entered into the FBI's National Crime Information Center. Most states' guidelines adhere closely to the U.S. Department of Justice recommended guidelines. In 2005, Hawaii became the 50th state to complete its statewide Amber Alert plan, creating a network of plans nationwide. In 2009, all 50 states, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands have Amber Alert plans. The Amber Alert system has also been adopted in the Canadian provinces and continues to expand into the Mexican border states. So how does the Amber Alert actually work? So we start with law enforcement determining that a child has been abducted and that they meet alert criteria. There is very specific alert criteria that these abductions must meet, as these are the most extreme cases that are issued Amber Alerts. The reason that not all abduction cases are given an Amber Alert is because the idea is that they want to keep it from desensitizing our regular citizens. If you were to get an alert on your phone or see them on the internet or in other avenues regularly, you would be less likely to pay attention to them. Law enforcement then notifies broadcasters and state transportation officials who will interrupt their broadcasts on, at the bare minimum, the radio, television, and Department of Transportation highway signs, which will provide information about the child that was abducted, specific information about who may have abducted them, what type of vehicle they may be in, or how either the child or the abductors may be dressed or and directions that they may be heading, as well as their last known whereabouts. Additional services can occur and other broadcasts can go through systems such as the lottery, digital billboards, internet ads or service providers, search engines, and wireless devices like our cell phones. The Amber Alert has seen tremendous amounts of success. These statistics are as of 2020 May. Since the creation of the Amber Alert, 988 children had been rescued. 66 children were rescued because of wireless emergency alerts, and 86 as of September 2019 Amber plans throughout the United States. More updated data shows that we reached the 1,000 children rescued mark due to the Amber Alert in June of 2020. So I mentioned that there are some specific criteria for issuing an Amber Alert, and I kind of ran through them quickly. I want to give you a little more information about that. So the first criteria is that there is a reasonable belief by law enforcement that an abduction has occurred. Amber plans require law enforcement to confirm an abduction prior to issuing an alert. This is essential when determining the level of risk to the child. Clearly, stranger abductions are the most dangerous for children and thus are primary to the mission of an Amber Alert. To allow activations in the absence of significant information that an abduction has occurred could lead to abuse of the system and ultimately weaken its effectiveness. At the same time, each case must be appraised on its own merits and a judgment call made quickly. Law enforcement must understand that a best judgment approach based on the evidence is appropriate and necessary. The law enforcement agency also must believe that the child is in imminent danger of serious bodily injury or death. Plans require a child to be at risk for serious bodily harm or death before an alert can be issued. This element is clearly related to law enforcement's recognition that stranger abductions represent the greatest danger to children. The need for timely, accurate information based on strict and clearly understood criteria is critical, again, keeping in mind the best judgment approach. There also must be enough descriptive information about the victim and the abduction for law enforcement to issue an Amber Alert to assist in the recovery of the child. For an Amber Alert to be effective in recovering a missing child, the law enforcement agency must have enough information to believe that an immediate broadcast to the public will enhance the efforts of law enforcement to locate the child and apprehend the suspect. This element requires as much descriptive information as possible about the abducted child and the abduction, as well as descriptive information about the suspect and the suspect's vehicle. Issuing alerts in the absence of significant information that an abduction has occurred could lead to abuse of the system and ultimately weaken its effectiveness. Another criteria of the Amber Alert process is that the abduction is of a child aged 17 years or younger. Every state adopted the 17 years or younger standard, or at a minimum, agree to honor the request of any other state to issue an Amber Alert, even if the case does not meet the responding state's age criterion, as long as it meets the age criterion of the requesting state. Most Amber plans call for activation of the alert for children under a certain age. The problem is that age can vary. Some plans specify 10, some 12, some 14, 15, or even 16. Differences in requirements create confusion when an activation requires multiple alerts across states and jurisdictions. So they adhere to that 17 and under in most situations. Overuse of the Amber Alert system will undermine its effectiveness as a tool for recovering abducted children. Our final criteria is that the child's name and other critical data elements, including the child abduction flag, have been entered into the National Crime Information Center, commonly known as NCIC system. Immediately entering Amber Alert data into the NCIC system, text information describing the circumstances surrounding the abduction of the child should be entered, and the case flagged as a child abduction. Many plans do not mandate entry of the data into NCIC, but this omission undermines the entire mission of the Amber Alert initiative. The notion of an entry should be sufficient to explain the circumstances of the disappearance of the child. Entry of the alert data into the NCIC expands the search for an abducted child from the local, state, and regional level to the national level. This is a critical element of any effective Amber Alert plan. Some additional information about the Amber Alert system is that multi-state Amber Alerts may be issued if a child is believed to have been taken across a state border. This is coordinated from state to state, where the state where the child was abducted from will reach out to another state Amber coordinator and ask for their cooperation in the alert process. It's also important to note that the Amber Alert is only one tool that law enforcement uses to locate abducted children. Every area now also has child abduction response teams, also known as CARTs, which were developed in 2006 with a rollout of training available to law enforcement officials and investigators. Even if a missing child is not issued an Amber Alert, they will likely be focused on through that CART response. And that is primarily because Amber Alert is only used in the most serious cases. Again, this child has to be believed that they are in imminent danger of bodily harm or death. And we try to reduce the amount of Amber Alerts that are issued primarily because we don't want to desensitize the people who are receiving them. Again, imagine if you were to get one every day, you'd probably be a lot less likely to actually read it or keep an eye out for that child or abductor. So what do you do if you hear an alert? You want to watch for the child, suspect, or vehicle described in the Amber Alert, especially if you are near their area or where the suspect is headed. Immediately report any sightings to 911, local law enforcement, or the investigating agency. In an Amber Alert, many times it will give you exactly who they would like for you to report any sightings to. Be sure if you feel that you may have possibly sighted the suspect or the child that you note the time, location, and any possible descriptions or observations that you have made about these individuals. Do not attempt to intervene in the situation, as it may pose a serious threat of harm to yourself as well as to the child. You may also be wondering what you can do to protect your child. Be sure to talk to your child about personal safety and discuss expectation safety rules. These things like how you want them to walk home from school, if you want them to engage with others, if they're supposed to walk home with a neighbor or sibling, what they should do if they are approached by an adult stranger, as well as rules around what to do when they're home alone. Be sure to have these conversations with your child before allowing them to be unsupervised. And also teach your child how to report to law enforcement and seek help if they feel threatened or in any way or have safety concerns. Finally, what do I do if my child is missing? If your child goes missing, immediately contact your local law enforcement agency. Discuss with them when you last saw your child, what the state of your child was at that time, where you suspect your child may be, and how long they've been missing. After you have reported your child missing to law enforcement, be sure to call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST, which would also be 1-800-843-5678. For more information about available resources, you can also visit missingkids.org/missingchild. If any other questions about the Amber Alert system or how to talk to your child about safety, you can reach out to me at Sara at cacfingerlakes.org or by calling our office at 585-394-2573.